When it comes to personalities, red types are hard to miss. They're confident, courageous, and full of energy. So today we ask this: how do you live with a red personality? Studio 5 contributor Dr. Matt Townsend has some insight on that. So if people don't know what we're talking about, we should set this up. There's that popular color test.
Yeah, color test, and you take a there's a bunch of different ones. And when you take them, it'll pretty much give you an identity as a red or a yellow or a white or a blue.
What are you?
Well, if you're me, I am actually all four exactly equally.
I believe that. You are the unicorn.
I'm the unicorn is a great way. I'm a rare oddity. Well, yeah, but it's kind of like, so what am I? Because I think at times I feel red and my wife treats me like a red, but then I'm really a white, so that's a peacemaker. And a blue might be, I can't remember.
I think it's like the emotional one.
The emotional, yeah, I'm that too, but then, and then there's the yellow that's just fun. So I like to touch them all.
I am split down the middle.
Are you?
Do you want to guess?
Okay, you're a red.
Red.
And blue.
I'm a red and a blue.
Because no one
I guess you're a relationship coach or something.
No one knows what blue is except you knew.
Well, I knew. Emotional, totally emotional.
Good.
So red personalities, they kind of had, there's a bad side, I think, to this stereotype.
Could be uglier,
that they're a little aggressive.
Way aggressive, competitive,
like
everything's a competition.
Myself from this group.
Those other sickly people, yes.
Is that true too? Are they difficult people?
Well, they are, especially to the whites and the yellows and the rest of us that didn't want to make this into a competition, but they might turn everything into competition. They're very energetic. They're very kind of excitable. They're very goal-driven. They have a vision, and they go push for that vision. And so for a lot of people that just kind of want to live, not so fun.
Just want to be.
I just want to have a day.
So teach us how to live then with these red personalities. Rule 1, you say, is learn to love their red side.
Learn to love the red side, because a lot of times what you might end up doing is competing with it, fighting against it, not always wanting to be driven everywhere and make everything you have to like keep moving and get stuff going. You might just want to relax, but there's benefits to having a red. So learn to love it and start using it. Use your red to get red stuff done. Use your red to create energy. Use your red to get things moving. So, but don't create a competition with the red. You're married, for heaven's sakes. You don't need to compete with this person. Just let them be their red self and start to appreciate it. And I'd even move away from the label of red, if you can, to just let them be them. You know, I'm a unicorn. Let me be a unicorn.
Let me be a multicolored.
Let me be a multicolored unicorn. But the idea is just love me for what I am. It's not changing, so you got to kind of work it a little bit better.
This was, I think, best displayed and dramatically displayed in that movie, The Blind Side. Remember Sandra Bullock played that mom. That was super red, super aggressive, and then Tim McGraw played the husband, who was totally white.
That's right.
And I know they played it up for drama and comedy's sake, but it was actually, I think, kind of sweet to watch how he just embraced her
sweet combination.
and accepted her.
And by the time she's exhausted the boy, then the dad could come in and be white and just be a landing place for him.
All right.
And use those strengths that way.
Embrace, love it. Help throttle their speed is your next recommendation.
We tend to, the little 25% of me that's a red, we tend to be very energetic and speed is of the essence. So you might have to help us throttle that speed. So we might tend to move over things, over points, and over people. So it might be good as a spouse to help us slow down, to help us understand when we're becoming too much. And my wife is actually really good at this. Like, she has signs that she gives me. Like she's like a gangsta. She's pulling on her ear.
She's a baseball
doing
coach
whatever
over
she
there.
can. Yeah, like,
on third base.
Bunt. But she's doing what she can to get me to just recognize in the moment that quit talking or slow down. And one way to do this is just keep asking about the goal. So what's the goal? What's the purpose? Because a lot of times we might be dreaming a lot but not actually practically, you know, applying what we're dreaming about. So she might say, so what are we going to do today? What's the job today to make our goal, make it happen? To keep
circling you back to that point.
Just keep throttling us a little bit on the speed of everything. And if I start walking ahead of you, just ask me to come back and just slow down. And my wife will say stuff like, just remember, we're all together. We're all walking to the same place. So just walk with us.
We joke, when Mark and I were dating, there was this one conversation. It was fairly early on in the relationship, and he looked at me, he goes, you squirrel a lot. Meaning like...
That's rude.
Well, you know,
like
question, comment.
No,
no, not that.
Interesting.
But like I spit around a conversation pretty quickly because my brain does fire pretty fast.
This is how you do a show, too.
Yeah, right. He's really good, though, how you described it, of pacing me and pulling me back.
Sometimes it's just even, it almost almost feels like, oh, she wants me, because like she'll grab me and pull me back, but she's not really wanting me. She's just wanting me to walk with everyone,
we all get there together
and be with everyone. Yeah.
Reds can keep everyone on track, but you say you can also step up and support them in that goal.
No, absolutely. So one of the cool things about the Red is that we're going to push people, we're going to drive people, and so let us do that. Let us push, let us drive, but you keep me on track. Like, I might be out of focus a lot of times, so just keep redirecting. Just keep pulling back. Just keep bringing me back to the thing that matters most. Bring me back to the bottom line. Help me see the big picture again. Remember, they're just children, and they will grow up, and then they can fit into our plan. Right now, they're just a nuisance.
Reds sometimes like to be the center of attention. How can you channel their gifts to help spotlight other people's talents? One
of the things that Marty does is she'll, like, when we're pulling into an event or pulling into something, she might like highlight certain things for me to remember. Like, remember that these people are going to be here, so make sure you find some time for them. Make sure you take them aside and talk to them. They had a question about this, make sure you talk about it. So some of it's just cueing into the people. And sometimes it might be giving them more information, so I focus on it. And sometimes in the moment, it's helping me recognize that, because sometimes the Red wants to be the center of attention. And when they're being the center of attention, too much attention might be on them. So you might just gently remind them that, you know what, try to bring other people in.
I like that.
Just invite other people in.
You talked about Reds being goal-driven. They have big dreams.
Huge.
As a partner, that can be kind of frustrating if their head's in the clouds. How can you help manage and meet in the middle there?
And one of the rules is make sure that you're talking to them about what your needs are in relation to the dream. Like, don't diminish their dream, but make sure they know that they have to make a living. So I appreciate that you want to do the dream. We just have to make a living, and so make sure you clarify exactly what you need out of the dream. So we do need this much money while we're doing it to make sure we cover all the bills. So as long as we're able to do that, I'm totally fine. And then you support the dream and help the dream. And when it fails, don't be done with the dream. Don't crush the dream. Just keep seeing if you can't keep it alive, because the cool thing about a Red is they're not going to stop, and they're going to work hard to make it happen. And if you're part of it, it's even a bigger part of the dream. You help sculpt the dream, change the dream, and make the dream more whole, more healthy, more for everybody instead of just for them.
Good stuff,
Turn it for the family.
Good stuff. Celebrate those Reds and every other color of the rainbow.
Awesome.
That's
right. Be a unicorn.
Matt's a busy guy. He's a great guy, turning out all of this awesome information and advice for relationships. You have a big event coming up,
Huge event. We are going to Idaho.
Idaho has been celebrating since you announced this.
And they've been neglected. So we're going up to Idaho Falls. Just go to matttownsend.com and you'll get the full scope on what we're doing. It's huge, but what we want to focus on are couples everywhere. So we'll be eventually going to Arizona, Nevada. We're going everywhere. Go to matttownsend.com and get ready for it.
Awesome. You can probably request too.
Yes, we'll be there.
If you want Matt to come to your neck of the woods.